Terence Crawford fans, let me holler at y'all. Smash the like, sub to the channel, share the video. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. Also live Sunday mornings with the Singing OG KC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Join the channel as a member. Drop super chats and super thanks when you come by the live streams, the videos that we do. And if you want to debate, knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com is the email address. I'm probably not speaking on this again unless somebody wants to debate me on it. All right? But I feel the need to talk about this because we are now 6 days away, or 6 days removed, I should say, from Terence Crawford laying down a masterclass performance against Canelo Alvarez. For me, the second best performance of his career. I think the Spence performance, I think we can all agree, that was the best I've ever seen Terence Crawford look. I think Canelo, at this point in his career, tougher opponent, better fighter than Earl. However, Bud Crawford put on a better performance against Earl, but definitely, probably the biggest win of his career is the win that he got against Canelo Alvarez. And what's going on right now is what always happens when there's a historical fight or there's a historical performance from a top level, all-time great fighter. And Terence Crawford fans, as they always did, this happened after the Spence fight. It's happening now after the Canelo fight. They're gassing their favorite fighter, as you should, bro. Gas your favorite. Ride for your favorite. But you cannot get mad or cry that somebody's being a hater when they put the right amount of historical context on what he accomplished and what he did. And what's going on right now, at least in my chat, from the Terence Crawford fans that follow my channel, is me, myself, I'm getting called a hater. A lot of people in my chat are getting called a hater because we don't go so far as diehard Bud Crawford fans go, which is, you can compare him to Floyd. He's a GOAT. He's the GOAT over Florida. He deserves to be in the conversation with Floyd Mayweather. He deserves to be in the conversation with Ray Leonard. And when you point out that he doesn't, then you're deemed a hater. It's not people such as myself hating on Bud, bro. It's you diehard fans of him, like Tim Bradley, like Bo Mack. Y'all gassing him, bro. Y'all really gassing him, and you forgetting the historical context of the sport, and you forgetting the things that other all-time great fighters have done, bro. And I stand on what I said, bro. It is disrespectful to Floyd Mayweather. It is disrespectful to Ray Leonard to even try to compare Terence Crawford to them, bro. And the main reason is because of who they beat and who they fought. Unfortunately for Bud Crawford, Terence Crawford fans, unfortunately for him, and unfortunately for you, he came up in a watered down era. It's the same reason that, see, and I don't hear anybody complaining about this, right? Alexander Usyk, undisputed at cruiserweight. Alexander Usyk, undisputed at heavyweight. Alexander Usyk, undefeated. Alexander Usyk, Olympic gold medalist. But because of the watered down heavyweight era that he came up in, I think we can all agree that we're not putting him over Lennox Lewis. We're not putting him over Muhammad Ali. If you go by actual accomplishments, he actually accomplished just as much, if not more, than those fighters. But because of who those fighters fought, what they went through to get what they got, no one's putting him over them. Because we understand that the heavyweight era that they came up in, it's a much more difficult era than what Alexander Usyk is currently fighting in. There were no Mike Tysons in Alexander Usyk era. There is in Lennox Lewis's era. There's no Evander Holyfields in Alexander Usyk's era. There is in Lennox Lewis's era. There's no George Foreman's, right? There's no Riddick Bowe. There's none of this shit going on in Usyk's era, bro. Which is why we can say, hey, them accomplishments are great. You have a conversation to be the GOAT of your era, to be the best fighter of your generation. But if we're comparing you to Lennox Lewis, there's no conversation. If we're trying to compare you to Muhammad Ali, there's no conversation. Everyone will understand what I just said. But when I tell you that the same thing is true for Bud Crawford, y'all act like I'm not spitting facts or I'm not telling you the truth. All because you got Bud Crawford Johnson in your mouth, bro. All because you a diehard Bud buddy and shit. It's not discrediting anyone to tell the truth. In actuality, Bud Crawford fans are trying to discredit Mayweather to put Bud on his level. Bud Crawford fans are trying to discredit Ray Leonard to put Bud on his level. Did Bud Crawford do something that no one has done in the sport of boxing before? Yes, kudos to that. But just because you've done something that nobody has done before doesn't make you the best at doing it. There are plenty of people that have done things that other athletes in their sport haven't done before. That don't make them the best at that sport. Being the best is about consistency, level of competition. How hard was your road to get the accomplishments that you got? It's the same reason we look at Bud Crawford and say the Canelo Undisputed ranks over the Earl Spence Undisputed, which ranks over the Ndongo Undisputed. Why? Because of how good the fighters were that he had to fight to get what he got. Which is the same reason we can look at Canelo, Earl, and Ndongo, and Gamboa, and then we can turn around and look at Ray Leonard and say, Wilfredo Benitez, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hitman Hearns, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and say, great career, bro. Great career, bud. But the niggas that Ray Leonard had to beat can't put you over him. That's why we can look at Bud and say, yo, Canelo, Earl, and Ndongo, great career, bro, great accomplishments. But when I'm looking at Floyd, I see the Cottos, the Pacquiaos, the Canelos before you, the Juan Manuel Marquezes, the Zab Judas, the Diego Corraleses, the Ricky Hattons, the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Chop Chops, and so forth and so on, and say, great job, bro. Great job, but you don't have them names. You didn't have to beat them people. You don't add up with the Hall of Famers. Bud Crawford's fought one surefire Hall of Famer in his career, Canelo Alvarez. How many did Floyd beat? How many did Ray Leonard beat? And for Ray Leonard, he wasn't just beating them. He beating dudes that's the greatest at their weight of all time. Marvin Hagler is the greatest middleweight of all time. Ray Leonard beat him. Tommy Hitman Hearns is one of the greatest multiple division champions of all time. 8 division champion, Tommy Hitman Hearns. Ray Leonard beat him multiple times. Like, what are we talking about, bro? So that's not disrespect on behalf of Bud Crawford. What's actually going on is y'all are disrespecting all-time greats by trying to compare Bud to them because y'all want to talk to me about the eye test. You want to talk to me about accolades. And here's the thing. Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, all these people that we comparing Bud to, nigga, they eye test is off the charts too. And their eye test was tested against much tougher level of competition. Much tougher level, bro. So for the same reason that I will never, or people who really know boxing will never, put Alexander Usyk over Lennox Lewis as a heavyweight or as a fighter, it's the same reason that some of you in my chat got Evander Holyfield over Alexander Usyk because of who he fought and what he beat and who he beat to get what he got. For those same reasons, because Usyk is in a watered down era and he just didn't have enough great fighters to fight to be able to be compared to those other great fighters, it's the same reason that Bud will never compare to Floyd Mayweather or Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns or Marvin Hagler or Roberto Duran, and the list goes on, because he didn't have to go through what they went through to get what he got, and he didn't fight the level of fighters that they had to fight, bro. That's not hate, that's the truth. Y'all are actually hating on all-time greats to try to lift Bud up and put him in a conversation that he doesn't belong in. Kevin Durant is an outstanding basketball player. Not a single basketball player or basketball fan is putting him in the conversation with LeBron and Michael Jordan, bro. Does that take away that he's accomplished a lot? Does that take away that he's done some things in the sport of basketball that no one has ever done? No. He's just not on their level. Still great, still an all-time great, still going to the Hall of Fame. He just ain't them. He just ain't them. Straight up. Adrian Peterson, outstanding running back, bro. Outstanding. Going to the Hall of Fame, first ballot, one of the best. Straight up. He ain't no Barry Sanders, though. He ain't no Emmitt Smith, though. Because they did more. They went up against tougher levels of competition. They accomplished shit as well. Adrian Peterson ran for 2,000 yards. Emmitt Smith never did that. That don't make AP better than him, bro. Or AD better than him. Sorry, fam. These are the same arguments. This is the same level of thinking. You can't get on that Mount Rushmore type shit. You can't get on that GOAT status type shit when the people that you're getting compared to, especially in boxing, fought way better fighters than you. When you get your undisputed against Julius Ndongo, but I get my one championship belt against Tommy Hearns, it's not the same. It's not the same. When you gotta beat Earl Spence for undisputed, but I just beat Marvin Hagler for one belt at middleweight, or two belts at middleweight, or whatever the fuck it was. It's not the same, bro. It's not the same. Straight up, when you move up and you become a champion by beating Jeff Horn, but I move up and I become a champion by beating Zab Judah or by beating Oscar De La Hoya, it's not the same. When you come off of a 1 year layoff and you fighting Mean Machine for a tune-up, but I come off a 1 year layoff and I'm fighting multiple division champion Juan Manuel Marquez for a tune-up. It's not the same, bro. It's levels to this shit. Right now it's disrespectful to try and compare Andre Ward to Bud Crawford. Bud has surpassed him for that. And it's every bit as disrespectful to compare Bud Crawford to these fighters y'all trying to compare him to that's just better all time. Sorry, bro. Sorry. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Comment below, smash a like, sub to the channel. Y'all stop crying, Bud fans. Ain't nobody disrespecting Bud, bro. Y'all disrespecting other fighters to lift him up. And it's what you've been doing his entire career. All-time great fighter, Hall of Fame fighter, first ballot Hall of Famer, 3-time undisputed champion. Can't nobody take that away from him. But y'all stop trying to take shit away from other fighters to put him in a conversation that he don't deserve to be in. Sorry, bro. Smash the like, sub up. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.